Hi, this is Dr. Megan Miller, and Joe Smith is not here tonight because he's getting CPR renewal. But this is We'll Decide Wednesday, and I have several members of the Do Better Collective here with me. So I'm really excited to spin the wheel and see what thoughts you all have about the topic. We'll Decide Wednesday is a special feature of the Do Better podcast, and I'm going to go ahead and spin the wheel. Oh, Joe's going to be so disappointed. It's airport snacks. I know he really wanted to talk about that. So I'll have to make sure to let him know and he can chime in maybe next week before we get started. But yeah, so we're going to talk about airport snacks. I'm not entirely sure I can talk about that for a full 2 minutes and 30 seconds. For those of you that are watching on Facebook, feel free to type in your favorite airport snacks and hacks around airport snacks. And for those of you that are watching from the collective, once I do my 2 minutes and 30 seconds, if you want to share anything, you will have the chance to. So here we go. Airport snacks. First of all, airport snacks are really expensive, yet I'm always highly motivated to get them, and I'm not really sure why. There's something about buying Cheez-It party mix at the airport that just like makes it so much better. And it's like, I think calories and carbs go out the window and I can just buy whatever I want from the airport while I'm sitting on the plane. And you know what? With COVID and the fact that when you're on the plane, somehow COVID magically disappears if you're eating, you can have your mask off. So now I'm even more highly motivated to have airport snacks.
We're just going to eat 8 hours, 8 hours long.
Yes, exactly. So, but my go-to, so when I'm like really doing well with keto, I had a few airport snacks I really like to get. Like they would have different cheese stick type things. There's some like places, especially in like at JFK airport, it's pretty easy to find like kind of more of like the deli type stuff. But like there's the different olive packs that you can get that like the fancy, I forget, it's like Olivo or something like that. I forget what the olive, OLOVE maybe is what it is. So I would always get those, but it's like so expensive, like $5 for like 10 olives or something ridiculous like that. And then there are these like little like meat, cheese, and cracker trays that I would get, and they were lower carb than a lot of the other options. So that's when I'm being really good. But if I'm not, if I'm just like whatever, I do like to get the Cheez-It snack mix or Chex Mix. Like either one of those is really good. And at some airports, they have a pretty good selection of the Haribo different gummies. And I love their gummy bears, but I love the Star Mix that has a bunch of different types. The one I really like the best was like Pico Bali or something. And they're like these little round things, but they don't really sell those anymore. So I haven't been able to find them. So that's kind of my airport snacks. The few times that I've traveled during COVID, though, when I'm at the airport, if I have enough time, I've just been going to the restaurants because you don't have to wear a mask while you're sitting there. And it's really a lot to wear a mask for like that long, especially when you're vaccinated. But I guess with Delta variant, maybe I'm not gonna be able to do that anymore. So we'll see. Yay, I did it. All right. So I was going to share one other thing, but it's international travel at the duty free store. I don't know what brand it is. I should have taken a picture, but there's some brand that sells nuts in the Middle East at the duty free stores. And they're like the best nuts I've ever had. And I can never find them anywhere else, but I don't even know what they're called. So I can't look them up either.
But they're airport snacks. They're for the airport. So
yeah, well, I mean, they're at the duty free. So like you can kind of get them for your airport ride, or you can get them like on your way back and eat them. Well, what I usually do is get them when I land, and then they're one of my snacks I have as I'm doing my consults. So I can like make it through the day. My mom is here. She didn't know. She says, hi, am I on the wrong link? And then she says something she doesn't get at home, but when she's at the airport is Swedish fish. We do love our Swedish fish. So anyone that's watching from the collective, Penny, Cindy, Leslie, or Liz, want to share anything about airport snacks?
I think I could talk 10 minutes about the airport snacks.
They have better airport snacks at some of the international airports than they do Like the pretzels you can get in Germany.
Exactly. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on airport snacks, Penny?
Yes, I have a couple of thoughts on the airport snacks. First of all, I fly quite frequently, and I fly frequently to the Netherlands. And obviously, you're not allowed to bring drinks onto a plane, but my kids love the Dutch chocomel. It's chocolate milk, but it's much creamier. So just after customs, I buy a ton of chocomel, which is very heavy, but I shovel it all into my bag, and that's a definite airport snack that I carry with me. And also in the Netherlands, what I always do, they have these tiny little cheeses in Amsterdam, and it's like a tiny little pack like this, and it's got something like 10 or 15 different varieties of cheese. So cheese with, I don't know, all sorts of different flavors, but I just love, love, love buying them. And it's my favorite airport snack. And for some reason, pretzels are incredibly interesting to me when I fly. I don't like pretzels, but when I fly, it's a must have just because of the saltiness. I really like it. And for the rest, I do love shoveling my kids full just before we get onto an airplane, because my kids absolutely refuse to eat airplane food. And I've had a couple of instances, the flight is like 8 hours, right? I've had a couple of instances of one of my children almost fainting while going through US customs, and the lines can be long. And my kids are like, "Oh, mom," and I'm like, "Stand up." They get mad if you lie on the floor. Stand up. So I do shovel them full for like $50 per plate. You're right, Megan. They're really expensive
Yeah.
meals at the airport. So no, but definitely the cheese in Amsterdam, and also when I go um, just before I fly in Amsterdam, all of a sudden I think, oh my gosh, I have to bring something back for this person and that person. And all of a sudden, everything becomes really interesting at the airport, which I've only seen the day before in a shop. And if I'd been a little bit smarter, I could have gotten a better deal. But they do have really cool things, right? At the airport, Nijntje, it's called Miffy here in the US. Miffy is a big deal, so you can
Oh
get little
yeah.
Miffy chocolates and little Miffy all sorts of things. It's really cute. So
When you flew, oh no, wait, that was Lufan. Never mind. Yeah, I've only been through Amsterdam once. I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for those cheeses if I ever
those
go to
cheeses are
Amsterdam.
so good. Yeah,
Mm,
they're really good.
awesome. My mom also says she likes unsweetened tea at the airport, but she drinks unsweetened tea like everywhere. So, but she doesn't like soda. So, um, Cindy, Leslie, or Liz, any airport snack thoughts?
I can go. I feel like y'all like eat fairly like healthy things. Like when I go, I'm like it's like full indulgence. I'm like buying like the $10 candy bars and like chocolate and like a venti chai latte and like bagel sandwiches. Like I think it's because like just to ease any anxiety about traveling or something going wrong, I'm like, oh well, I'll just eat all the things. And um or like if I'm at the airport early in the morning, I'm like, well, I got up and I made it. If I make it to like my flight and everything, I'm like, well, I deserve whatever I want. So
Yeah.
I just I just I'd make horrible decisions and $75 at the little snack shop later.
Love it.
I have a bad habit of like purposely packing protein bars, like all the things, and not eat and like just bringing it right back home with me. So
Yeah.
I have good intentions and pack those snacks, but then like you said, calories don't count. And if I have time between flights, it's Chick-fil-A. Like I feel like there's dispensation in the airport. So
There is at the I used to have like the Atlanta airport basically memorized on what stuff they had because that's where I was like always flying through and I was flying all the time.
yeah.
And in the now I can't remember. I think it was the A terminal, but it might have been the B terminal. There's this like piano bar slash pizza place. And the first couple of times I went there, I would get the pizza, and these are like decent size, but they're really, really thin crust. and I'd be like, oh, there's no way I could eat this whole thing. And I'd eat like 2 pieces and then unfortunately like throw the other 2 pieces away because I'm traveling by myself. But by the end of my travels, I was eating that whole dang thing. It was so good. And every time I'd be like, I totally shouldn't be doing this. I totally shouldn't be doing this, but it was so good. They
It's
had
so
one
hard
with
not
like
to.
capers on it. That was amazing.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's so hard. We went through Atlanta when we went to Destin, and I mean, half of it's all closed still.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing that kind of stinks right now too. A lot of it's closed.
I do really empathize with what Liz said about just the fact that you're flying and all of a sudden you eat all these high calorie foods. I actually also partially do that, but it's also because of my fear of flying. I also sort of feel it might be my last day, so I might as well have that milkshake.
Yeah, I thankfully don't have that issue, but
Oh, I do, yeah. But honestly, swimming to Europe is worse. So,
Cindy, did you have any airport snack stories you want to share?
I do. I'm a huge fan of snacking regardless of the location or time of day. But I'm not really a BYO kind of gal, which is why I lost a lot of weight over lockdown, because like I always get food out when I'm consulting. So, but anyway, that's a different story. But I'm BYO after we flew to Kauai in June. That was our first flight since last March. And we got big sandwiches at Whole Foods for dinner because it was a night flight. And so I basically had my mask off the entire time on the plane because I just ate the whole time. I had this giant sub sandwich, chips, dessert. Then they keep giving you snacks, like since they don't sell food on the flights. I don't know if you've noticed that. They just like keep giving you like endless snacks like for days. And I'm like, no, gotta take my mask off again. Oh dear. I'm not used to having to wear it for that many hours. Like, I'm not a fan of wearing it. I'm a fan of masking and public health, but I'm not a fan of having to wear it for like 5 hours consecutively.
Agreed.
Highly recommend BYO snacks and eating the whole flight.
Just letting it sit on your tray and the entire time saying, but I'm eating, right?
Yeah. Like every 30 seconds, take a little bite.
Yeah.
Awesome. My mom said, oh no, Megan, piano bar you'd be at anyway. Now I should have clarified. It wasn't like a dueling piano bar where you get to sing along and like rock out with the person. It's like just a piano at a bar and like one person plays whatever music. It's not a sing along, unfortunately. And then she said Columbus used to have Donato's at their airport. I don't know if they still do or not. My favorite at the Columbus airport, they had this coffee shop called Cup of Joe, which is a local coffee shop, and it closed. And I was so sad because when I would leave to go on flights out of Columbus, it was usually early in the morning. And there's this one thing, I have no idea what they put in this thing, but it was their like specialty drink. And I happened to get it. One day I went in there and I was like, what do y'all recommend or whatever? And it was called Joe Cool. And that thing, I swear it had like some sort of drug in it or something because it was so addictive, but it didn't taste like super sweet. It definitely had to have had calories though. It had some sort of flavoring that had sugar or something, but those things, especially when I was in grad school and like trying to make it through the day, were just like the best thing ever. So if you're ever in the Columbus area and you see a Cup of Joe, go there and get a Joe Cool because it's amazing. All right. Well, we will finish up for this. After we finish at 8, we have weekly meetings with me. And we'll be talking tonight about social skills for intervention. And then on Saturday, we have Adrienne presenting on parent training for our mentorship at 10 a.m. So hopefully I will see some of y'all at those 2 events. All right. Bye, everyone.